Hello everybody. We'll be starting in just a minute. We will be going over grant management today. Alright, so we're ready to roll. Let's share a screen with everybody so you can see what's rocking. Okay. So I recorded a video before and it is called the grant method for proposals. So that's broken down as G, R, A, N, T, and each letter has a various meaning to it. And I already have a 25-minute video together, and you can find that if you go on my YouTube over at Dow Learning. If you just go on YouTube and you look for grant method, I don't know, yeah, here it is, it'll pop up. So this is a video that's about 30 minutes long, and it goes over the entire method. Now today, we're just going to be going over the G part of that. And I already talked in this video quite a bit about what that G means. So let's come back here to this screen. So the G is gauging. And I talk on an overall philosophy of what gauging is in this video. And I break it down. I show you, I have a lot of technique in here of how to gauge a grant. However, I don't really walk you through it. So in the video I'm going to do today, we're going to walk through it with our own company. And you can do this just with Excel if you don't have a client relationship manager. You don't need to have high-end software for this. You don't need really anything but the grant expertise that I'm going to be sharing. And then we're going to be utilizing grants.gov. So that's pretty simple. Going to take about an hour of our time. We're going to go on grants.gov. We're going to get out an Excel sheet, and then we're going to start tracking the grants that are appropriate for our company. So our company is dowlearning.org. So you can go here and you can get a very clear idea who we are, what we do. So it's all about education and literacy, and these are multiple programs that we have. And today we're going to be gathering and gauging to see if various grants are appropriate to be funded with us. So no matter who you're getting a grant for, you really want to understand the company well, and then you want to go and search for it over on grants.gov. So before I get started on this, I'm going to open up our own. We use Dynamics 365, partnered with Microsoft for that, and we use our nonprofit hub. So part of that nonprofit hub, that if you would be working on my team, you would get access to what we call the Rfp Management area. So let's see if I can even find that in here. Rfp. Control F, Rfp. Why can I not find Rfp? Oh, it's called Project. Well, no big deal. I'm going to be using the nonprofit hub area. So this is a customized version of Dynamics 365, and it has multiple areas here that can track all types of stuff. So we personally load this up into what's called the pipeline management, and we're just adding new grants to our pipeline. So when we click on the response, these are the various grants that need responded to. And they're just in the pipeline right now. And before I add more into here, I actually just want to convert this into an Excel spreadsheet. Now the reason I'm going to convert it to Excel, because a lot of you starting out that you need this tutorial, you don't have client relationship management software, And this is actually very intense. We're using the Nonprofit Accelerator offered by Microsoft. So you can look up Nonprofit Accelerator Microsoft. So if you want to know exactly what I'm using, it is right here, Nonprofit Accelerator with Microsoft. And you can learn how to install this, learn how to manage it. You can see that's the same screen I'm using. But we have customized this just for our own company. And we do have a partner, so you can reach out to us if you want to work with our partner. We're very happy with the results of how to utilize this. So I want to turn this into an Excel spreadsheet. So we're going to go up to Export to Excel, hit the down arrow, and I believe Open in Excel Online. Now, I have not had very much luck on these other methods here, but I've had great success opening an Excel Online. So I'm going to open the sheet up in Excel Online. That really just gives me a little window here on top. And, you know, I've used Excel for years, really easy for me to understand. And you probably have too, if you've been in business management for a while. Excel, it's just simple. And you can see it is taking a while to load. So while this is loading over here, we're going to go ahead and go over to grants.gov. And we're going to be working on the G portion of this. Gauging. Okay, so back on grants.gov. So you want to know who the nonprofit is. We're now learning, and we're doing literacy, we're doing STEAM education, we do a lot of digital stuff. So let's just see on grants.gov if we can find any grants for that. So how about we type in STEAM. Okay, and right off the bat we find 11 opportunities that maybe they have something to do with STEAM. And we want to pay attention to the close date. We don't really want to look at anything that just doesn't look appropriate for the timeline that we have, or we don't want to look at anything that's in the past. So we actually already have the Morocco project on there, and we might be applying for this one if we get our team together. We only have about 20 days left on that. We should be able to do that with 20 days. Okay, so now that this popped up, this gives me very simple spreadsheet. So what I'm going to do for you guys, I'm going to actually copy this entire spreadsheet here, and I'm going to save this in our own company. So I'm just going to copy this, and let's go and create a new Excel spreadsheet. That way, if you don't have access to Dynamics 365, you could still help out. So we have what's called the Dream Hive inside the education folder. I'm going to create a new Excel spreadsheet. So I go to New, and I'm going to choose Excel. Microsoft Excel. And I'm going to call it Pipeline Management. All right, let's open it up. And I'm going to paste this information in there. Then I'm going to resize all of these. The column width, right now it's 847. How about we go 20? That'll take up the whole page. All right, and then we'll make this link a little bit bigger. Okay, and then these don't need to be very tall. So how about the row height back down to, I think it's 13 is what I usually use. Sometimes it's nice. It's weird how our brains work. If you make these bigger, it just feels like it's a program instead of a spreadsheet, which is weird. You know, making that 20, it helps us out a little bit. Okay, and then I also want to take all the text and make sure it's in the middle alignment. And we do not want to wrap our text. We're going to make the text just go all the way out and keep on going. Okay. And then we're going to apply a few rules in here. All the dates have to be a date. So we're going to choose this column and change it from general over to a date. Short date. Long date. We're going to do a short date. Award ceiling, that has to be a number. That has to be currency. I don't know if there's an option for a link. Okay, account, objective, created by. Okay, and then all of these here, there's actually a list that this comes out of that those have to be into. The scopes also have a specific list that they have to come out of. So we can't just put anything we want in here. But for now, you know, this is saving up here. It's already put into this Excel sheet. So if you're a part of our Dream Management team, then you would have access by going to the Dream Hive, Education, Pipeline Management, and without access at all to this Dynamics 365 software, you could go ahead and help out over there and get rocking on that. But for me, I'm going to work on the back end, back here, and I'm going to put stuff directly in to this. Okay, so NSF STEM, there's the Morocco project. And the closing date, yeah, so I saw that over here on the page. It said Morocco closing date 11/30/2019. Okay, so we'll probably go through and add a few more of these in here. As you see, there's about 12. A lot of them we have until the end of January. Yeah, it looks like January, February is around our timeline for that. So I'm going to categorize this by the close date. That way, if I get distracted or if I don't finish this, then at least I'm taking care of whatever's on top. Okay, so we already have Morocco in there. Let's move right along to this guy. Okay, U.S. Embassy Grants Program, Department of State. And we're just gauging to see if this is appropriate. The first way I always gauge is the closing date. So the closing date's January 21st, 2020. That's great. I know that we can make that happen. The award ceiling, this is worth our time. It's 80,000. So how about I move this to the left? And let's move this guy out and move him to the right. Okay. And now let's just start plugging this stuff in. So over here, it is called, I'm trying to think of a name for it. I mean, that's kind of generic. I thought they had another name. I'm going to go back to the previous page. Okay, U.S. Embassy Grants Program. I guess that's it. U.S. Embassy Grants Program. And then I'm going to click up here on this link button. It's going to pop up and give me a link of how to get directly to this. So I'm going to put that in over here. And then the closing date is 1/21/2020. The award ceiling is 80,000. And then the account, we're going to leave the account blank. It says it already needs to be in there. The objective must already exist or in this source file. Okay, so we have to read this a little bit to see what is going on and what this money goes for. Description. It's a countrywide grant program, Ankara. So I'm probably going to change this at the beginning over here to call it the Ankara Grant Program. So let's see where Ankara is, where this is going to help out. Turkey. So how about we even change it again to call it Turkey. So we want to make it easy for whoever's coming in here. So support shared security, strengthen the economic prosperity, promoting innovation and fostering entrepreneurship, reinforce democratic values, and foster youth ties. So you can see they have STEAM in here, STEAM education among the youth, and which encourage study in the United States. So that's all we really have to look at to see that this does qualify for our company, for our nonprofit. Because yeah, we cover all of that stuff. We help out with youth, we help out with tying American studies, STEAM education. It flows really well with us. So that feels good to put on there. So we have Turkey, the closing date is this, award ceiling is that. We got our link in, we skipped the account. I'm going to put STEAM literacy. So if you know Excel, you can click on that box and you can pull it down. This is also a national project. So we have a drop down here, national. It's created by me. This is me over here, so I'm going to pull this guy down. Okay, so that is it. We have one done. So that's exciting. So it's a lot of work. It's about 40 hours of work to get this all submitted over, and I just put in the first 10 minutes for that project. So who knows if it'll go anywhere, but I did my job at least. So now let's move on to the next one. And I'm kind of nervous. I never have done this before on this program, so let's maximize this. And I want to hit the save button. So I'm going to copy all of this. And let's take it to our Excel sheet over here, just so I have the information saved. And let's go back, and I'm going to hit the save button. See if it gives me any problems. Because what it's doing when you go to Excel, this is actually completely opening up Excel. It's trying to import it, and it's saying, yeah, do not make any further edits until this is complete. So since we only added one at a time, it should show up here, but since this is my first day ever using that on this particular method, I'm going to wait a little bit, and then I would just hit this refresh button. And if it works, then it will show up in there. If it doesn't work, you need to make sure that when you hit that save button that you did what I did. You need to make sure that you back this up somewhere in case your import doesn't go through. So it did pull in my date that I put in here, so that's cool. But it hasn't yet pulled in. Oh, you know what? It's not going to pull it in because I don't have that saved in the pipeline response. I see. Okay, so you guys don't have to worry about this part. I'll change our program, but if I go back into Olive Roar, it should be in here. So what was that called? Turkey? So if we scroll down and look for Turkey, yeah, here it is. But the reason it didn't go through is, well, I'm assuming I didn't add it to the right, yeah, here we go. I didn't call it the response category. I don't even have that as an option. So we have to actually go into him and set him up over here as a response. Now he'll show up. So yeah, now he'll be in here. So that's pretty exciting. Just by using Excel like that, we have our whole entry in here. It's very easy to use. Now, the next thing that I would do after I import all of that, I'm actually going to go back into this project, and in the related area, I'm going to go to the documents. And I'm going to pull in it says link to additional information, but it also might even have a package up here or related documents. So this is called the NOFO. A NOFO is the main file that we need to attach. So I'm going to download the NOFO. Every project should have a NOFO. And then we need to upload the NOFO here. So I'm going to choose it. I'm going to go into my downloads folder. Oh, there it is. I'm in my downloads. I can click on that. And here it is, the NOFO. So that breaks down the whole project very easily. And I'm going to hit open. It puts it up in here. I hit OK, and that actually uploads it. Voila. Okay, so if we go back to General, this has the whole program. And then if we go to Documents, we actually have the attached document just for this. So all we're really doing here is we're filtering out everything that's on grants.gov, and we're making it easy for our own internal team to see all this information. Because they could go here themselves up on grants.gov and find this, but it's a lot easier when we shortlist things for them. All they have to do is go to the response area. They see the exact pipeline. They can categorize by this close date. They have really quick links. They can see which of our own programs in our company this goes for. If it's a national, global, regional project, and who brought it into the company. So that's what I'm working on today. So we're going to do that all over again, but now we are going to open in Excel Online again. So as that loads, just like it did last time, I'm going to move this over to the right side of the screen. And now we have grants.gov on the left. And let's go through some more. Okay, so we have this guy, Broad Agency Announcement. No idea what that means. Let's see if it's appropriate or not. It's the Department of Defense. Oh, that's something else I didn't look at. So the eligible applicants, we need to make sure that a nonprofit can be in here. Okay, so they want to do various research and development topic areas. Hydraulics, geotechnical structure. That does not really look like it applies to us. We don't do that kind of work. But why would this come up in my Steam results? Well, let's do a search for the word Steam here. Control F, Steam. I don't see it. Okay, so I don't think this one's appropriate for us. So let's just go back, and we're going to skip that guy. Move on to the next one. Centers of Excellence at 1890. Okay, it is a program that provides support a land grant with the goals of increase profitability and rural prosperity in underserved farming communities, addressing critical need for enhanced increasing diversity in STEAM. Yeah, that's us. I mean, we already serve underserved farming communities. We're based in a small town in Ohio, so that works. And then we also definitely increase diversity in STEAM. That definitely works as well. but we have to see where they want to give this energy to. Is it a, so the award ceiling is 1.6 million. I think that's enough money that we can do that even on a national scale with our digital program. Okay, so seeing what our next step is going to be. So agriculture steam. And the due date is over here. So they have the original and they have the current. So let's look at the current closing date is 1/31. The award ceiling 1600000. Then we get this link here. Pop that in there. Okay. And again, that's STEAM literacy. I would say this is a national project. I haven't read into it yet. I mean, it's the Department of Agriculture in the U.S., so I would assume that's how that works. And once again, this is me here. Okay, so I feel good with that. And let's go ahead and get that related document for the NOFO. So they have a zip file. The zip file is just this exact same file, just zipped. Sometimes there's going to be 8 documents in here, and they'll add all 8 documents into a zip. But when it's just one file, I don't need to download that zip. I'm going to get the exact file. Okay, and then let's go back. Okay, next guy, Department of Energy. So that's another column that we have in here. It's called the account column. So on the account column, I'm going to eventually have Department of Energy, Department of Agriculture, USAID, all the various accounts that fund this type of stuff. We don't have that in there for now, so we're leaving it blank. Okay, next guy. Innovative Nuclear Research. Department of Energy. Well, let's see what's going on. So it's R&D in nuclear research. And let's see who's eligible. Small business, private institutions, for-profit, public, others, additional information. Interestingly, we don't really, we're a nonprofit. I might skip this one too. Yeah, I'm feeling it's a skip. Okay, so we skipped that guy. How about this one? Lebanon, PAS. I forget what PAS stands for, but we've applied for one of those already. So I do know it does work with us. Okay, so they have a 400,000 ceiling. I just know this one's going to work. I don't need to read into it. But you guys, you got to read these. Closing day is 3/31/2020. It is Lebanon PAS. PAS, I believe, is like a department they have. Public Affairs. Okay, so yeah, very, very, very well aligned with us. All of this here. Enhance the role of women in society. We definitely do that. Foster youth empowerment. We definitely do that. It says STEAM again. And develop media literacy. and promote freedom of speech. So we do that, but this is also very specific just to Lebanon. Now, I have worked quite a bit with Lebanon in the past, so we'll probably bring on our Lebanon partners for that. Okay, so let's go back and get a link. And then we pop that in over here. No, I don't want to move him. I want to copy him. Yeah, that's a national project just for Lebanon. And it's me again creating this lead. So that looks good. We'll go to the related documents. We'll download this file. Beautiful. That one was quick. Okay, so we just did Lebanon. Let's move on to the next one. Annual Program for Public Affairs and Culture. Okay, individuals and others. Applications from, so we have to be registered over there. Non-government. Okay, so it does say U.S. NGOs. This is us. We're a U.S. NGO. So we do qualify. Where's Bishkek? Can't even say this place. Kyrgyzstan. Kyrgyzstan. If I work with them, I'll get good at that. I didn't even read what it does actually. Okay, should pay close attention to the goals, priorities, and target audiences. A lot of the programs they're trying to achieve all the same goals right now. We're trying to hit this SDG 4, which is called a Sustainable Development Goal. So yeah, they're trying to do STEAM literacy all over the world. I don't know if this is appropriate or not. So I'm going to read into, I mean, they didn't really give us a description here. So let's read into this one a little bit more. I mean, the category of funding is the arts and cultural affairs. So let's read into it. I usually like to read their NOFO. So they have an application, budget. Is this like a table of contents? I'm going to go with this file. Oh yeah, NOFO. Notice of Funding Opportunity. That's what NOFO stands for. So the NOFO is usually the first document we need. And so like I said, we're just in the gathering phase. We're just helping people put this list together what they need to research. The next team that comes in, our assembly team, they're actually going to go through and get all of these documents, and they'll do a lot more deeper research. They'll figure out who on our team has already worked in this country, who has expertise there. So in this very first step, it might look sloppy, but it's meant to be that way. It's meant to just gather the first little piece of evidence and get a lead and put in the deadlines that we need to work in. The goals: counterterrorism and security, promoting business and free markets, promoting democracy and sustainability. There it has STEAM. Okay, so democracy, stability. Project proposal may include the following to realize the goals above. So yeah, the reason we do STEAM literacy, it is to promote democracy and stability. It is to promote business and free markets. So we hit these bigger goals by having STEAM literacy, by having arts and culture programs. Okay, so I do feel like this is a good qualified lead, so let's look more into the synopsis again to get all of our information down. Okay, the current closing date. That's quite a ways off. 8. But it looks like they just opened this up this year as well. I saw something about 2019 in that paper. I'll bring that up to you guys again. So if you go to the top, a lot of these are ongoing projects. The selection committee anticipates meeting with the round on quarterly basis. November 2019, February 2020. So to meet with them on November 19, when the date to go forward isn't even really ready until August of 2020, this must be a rolling project that they keep on funding. I'm speculating. 120,000. Let's get the link for this guy. Close it out. Pop it in. So if you are a nonprofit and you're learning how to do this, I suggest to do what we do. We have one program. I mean, we have multiple, but our STEAM literacy program is a very powerful program. We've had amazing success with it. It's international. It's easy for us to take anywhere around the world. So it's a way for us to keep the program alive and ensure that we can maintain our budget while also working with inside the budget of where the grants are. So you want to find these grants and you want to make sure that their award ceilings, you can actually deliver some beautiful package back to what their goals are. And I'm going to call this Lebanon STEAM. So that's pretty good even for just, I don't know how long I've been on here, but qualifying 4 new leads. Same time I'm teaching you guys how I did this. It's pretty good. So let's move on, see how many more we can get. Okay, we did Lebanon. I think I don't remember what we did with this. Bishkek, I think that's the one we just did. Jerez, Mexico. Let's check it out. See what Mexico's up to. Cultural affairs, education, environment. Looks like it's us. Not very much cash to get that going though. Yeah, promote STEAM, do activities and workshops, sharing U.S. values and history and culture. So who's funding this? The Department of State is? The Department of State has a mission to Mexico. Mission to Mexico. Yeah, and it increases the cultural ties between the U.S. and the people of Chihuahua. Okay, encourages applicants from U.S. and Mexican nonprofit institutions and individuals. Okay, perfect. So. Closing date 12/31 of 2020. The award ceilings 50,000. Let's pull up a link. And let's get this related document. There's our NOFO. And she's downloaded. Done on Chihuahua. Okay, where was that guy? Here he is. Next one, basic research for combating weapons of mass destruction. Well, we have a lot of staff over in the region that might be going in, so we'll see if it's appropriate for education. I don't know what it has to do with STEAM literacy and why it came up in my search results. Okay, so they have an award ceiling of zilch, nada. It's a grants notice. It's an announcement. Not sure about this guy. I'm going to skip it. Okay, and that's also the Department of Defense. As a nonprofit, we usually don't, I'd say we don't really work with them. Okay, so then these down here don't have end dates to them. So this one I think is Pakistan. So let's click on him, see what Pakistan's up to. So they canceled it completely. So it's not in effect anymore. And that's the whole purpose of the gauge phase. Someone on the assembly phase might go in and start assembling for that. They might not have appropriately looked to make sure that it's no longer funded. There's no more end date to it. So we need to pre-qualify these. That's the whole purpose of this step. Okay, so that was when we search for STEAM. Let's get rid of that. And how about we look for education? I mean, we can look for dance. We can look for education. There's all kinds of things we can look for. And then we also want to make sure that we don't overlap because, you know, STEAM is a subsector of education. Improving undergraduate STEM education. See, they use the word STEM instead of STEAM. STEM is way more popular than STEAM. And that's the National Science Foundation. Let's check it out. Okay, so this right here, NSF STEM Education. It's already on here, but let's go ahead and fill out the rest of the information on it. Because I guess we got this one a few months ago. Okay, we'll paste that in. Closing date. Original closing date is December 4th. Looks like it's still the same. Okay, so 12/4/2019. Award ceiling, it's $3 million. And we're good on that. Okay, going back out. NIFA. What is NIFA? USDA NIFA. Oh, it's National Institute of Food and Agriculture. Strengthen the capacity to carry out curriculum and teaching programs of the food and agriculture through distant education technology. Well, let's see who they give the money for. Others. It must meet all the requirements. Failure to meet the eligibility will be exclusion. Okay. Don't believe we apply for this because we aren't an official school. We are like an alternative learning solution. I'm still reading to just make sure. I think that's it. Okay, so while I'm I just want to make sure I don't lose this information. So I'm going to copy this, copy everything that we got. Go back over to my little Excel sheet. Let's see, the Omron was the top. Yeah, so I'm skipping that one. I'm putting all of these in its place. There we go. Just to make sure I don't lose it. Higher education partnerships activities. Oh, you know what? I need to categorize this by closing date. There we go. That'll... And I don't want to choose closing dates so that we need to do this by tomorrow or the next day or the next day. Like, that's way too soon. So let's go down here. At least give us 2 weeks. Our team needs some time for these. There we go. End of November. Let's do like, yeah, that Morocco one that we already got. Planning grants. I wonder what a planning grant is. Let's read that over. I think we'll skip it. We're already going to apply for the other one with the NSF. We were aligned with that one, but it looks like it's the same thing that other grant does from the same organization, so that just seems pointless to me. Service delivery for vulnerable children and adolescents. I wonder what service delivery is. It's US Aid. Let's read their NOFO. Let's check it out. Concept papers. Okay, so it's all about health. Well, we're staying in the education space at the current moment. We do have a health section. Just not appropriate for today, for what I'm working on. So I feel good with all of this. I'm going to go ahead and upload what we already have. But that gives you a very clear idea of how you can research on here, find grants, and do what we call the gauge method. So if you go and look back at our video, we're just gauging right now. We're just seeing all this stuff down here. Are we eligible? Do we have the key personnel? Do we have the company expertise? You know, I'm only doing STEAM literacy stuff, so that's definitely the expertise. And looking at the dates and the deadlines, and then what resources do we have available and what resources are they asking for. So pretty much just, do we qualify? Is this something that our particular nonprofit even has a chance at getting partnered with? So now that we have those saved into Excel, in case anything messes up, I'm going to go back into, and if you don't have Dynamics, if you don't have a CRM, this is fine for you. You can use this, and you can use a little folder, and you are good. You don't need really expensive or really sophisticated software to track your management. And Dynamics is not expensive anyway. The setting up of it, it's more about the education of how to set it all up. I would say to get a partner of Microsoft to help with that. Okay, so now that that's all in here, I'm going to hit save. It should start importing it. And I do have one small program in my importing that you guys might have seen before. I need to appropriately add these all to the response pipeline, because when they get imported in, they don't show up here at all, but they will show up in my all roar area. So I'm going to go into the all roar, and I don't know how these are categorized. Maybe by the date it was created. So today is 11/12. So if I refresh this based on 11/12, then they'll show up all down here at the bottom once they finally do come in. Yeah, so they're all down here now. And I need to add 1, 2, 3, 4. Did we only get 4 more? Let's go check. 1, 2, 3, 4, and then turkey. Yeah, so we only got 4 extra besides that turkey one. So I need to go into each of these, and I need to change them so that the response is the category set up as response. Your data has been submitted for report. Please do not make further edits. Well, is it still going? Don't want to mess it up, that's for sure. I think we're good now. Turkey grants. It took my link off of Turkey. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's do an edit on these. And we mainly need to change the category. Where's the category? It's in the header. The category is going to be response. So it's only going to update that one column for us. Let's change that. You'll see it populate all there now. But man, it took... Oh no, it wasn't description. That's why it doesn't show up here. It's the URL. So let's go back now to our responses. They should all show up perfectly. So there it is, gorgeous. The last thing I'm going to do before I wrap this up, I'm going to attach all those NoFos to each project. I'm pretty sure we already attached the turkey NoFo. Let's go into the agriculture and let's bring in the related document. And yeah, I'm just no idea which one it is. That's Lebanon, Cultural Affairs, Juarez. What's this guy? Not him either. Well, let's go to that link then. Related documents. Fiscal year 2020. I'm going to open up my downloads folder and see. Do we have fiscal year 2020? Yeah, there it is. Oh. That was the first one I opened up. Okay, so let's go back and do that again. So we're over here, we go to documents, And definitely spend your time on this. Go slow so you don't upload the wrong document in the wrong spot. Okay, that's up there. Mission to Mexico. Let's work on this guy. Related documents. Was that the Juarez one? Yeah, Mexico. Beautiful. Kyrgyzstan. Learn to say it eventually. Documents. Okay. Bishkek. I think this is Kyrgyzstan if I remember correctly. Is it going to give me a preview? Yeah, Kyrgyz. So that's it. Boom, boom, Lebanon. So there is nonprofit management software out there you can utilize. I've used quite a few of them, and they're a lot more sophisticated than what I'm doing right now, but they also are either quite expensive. I think we're on Lebanon. And they don't allow you to customize as much as Dynamics 365 does. The thing I like about Dynamics, and we just aren't to the point that we have this 100% automated, but it's going to be easy for us to automate the whole process that you see that I'm doing now. But once this actually gets kicked over and it becomes an actual project, all we have to do is go into that project and change it from the pipeline to implementation mode. Once it's in implementation mode, we can actually track all of the information in Dynamics here of how this works. It gets bumped up here to the relationships area, and it becomes an award. So I really like Dynamics for that. It's a full nonprofit management system that you can utilize, and it can tie into a lot of your other relationship management solutions. So I believe that's everything that we're covering today. We added all the documents, 1, 2, 3, 4. Did we get Turkey as well? Let's check just to be sure. I think we got that at the beginning of the video. Yes. So yes, we have all of our documents in there. We have all of our dates. They're already categorized by the closing date, so our team knows what they need to focus on and when they need to focus on it. And then there's very easy links here. The next step would be the research phase. So in the research phase, we dig a lot deeper. That person is actually going to read the NOFO. That person is actually going to look for similar programs. So if you look in here, they might even partner up 2 of these programs together in the research phase and take some notes on that. And they're going to put together what we call our ROAR. So you can watch some of our other videos to learn what is a ROAR. You can see we have it spelled out here, R-O-A-R. So we use the ROAR method inside of the grant method. And that's actually very comprehensive. Just with that simple hour worth of time, we can put together 3, 4.5, about $5 million worth of grants. and streamline them all with the exact same objective, the same program, and we can get started on distributing that. Each of these grants is probably 40 hours of work for our team to actually do all the research we need, do all the assembly. So if it's 40 hours, that's one person's full labor for a week. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 weeks of work for one employee. We actually distribute this across about 5 employees, so it's still about 2 or 3 weeks of work, even for 5 employees, but they're not doing this full time. This is just one of the many projects they work on. So I hope you guys enjoyed. If you have any questions, log on to Dow Learning. You can find us at dowlearning.org, and you can see a lot of the grants that we work on here. You can see a lot of the trainings that we do, and if you want to get involved, you can join one of our programs in here, and you're also welcome to donate to us to help these causes move along a little bit faster. All right, I'll see you guys later.